I'm truly honored by this remarkable honor from such a splendid institution, and in particular for inducting me into the Sussex spirit. Now, the Sussex spirit did not emerge from thin air. The University of Sussex harks back to a sadly bygone era, a period during which a more confident British society, convinced that no price system, no cost-benefit analysis could ever capture the value of educating the many, and unwilling to indebt its poorer children as a price for their education, built new universities with a mission to rethink the purpose of higher education. As a young lecturer in the early 1980s, I remember taking the mantra a little too far. After delivering a talk on the civilizing power of university education, an elegant elderly woman approached me. Before uttering a single word, she lifted one of her sleeves to reveal an Auschwitz tattoo. Our killers were very well educated, she told me. They were engineers who read Goethe and listened to Beethoven after a day spent exterminating us. You are overvaluing education's civilizing capacities, my son, she said, leaving me there, stranded and deeply ashamed. She was, of course, right. And education is neither a necessary nor a sufficient condition for a person to be good. But it is a necessary condition for civilizing a society. And it can become sufficient as long as the young are encouraged to digest education critically, never to internalize a lecture, a textbook, a theory without intense critical scrutiny, always to be guided by the Royal Society's motto, nullius in verba, take no one's word for it. Perhaps the most infuriating experience I had in politics was when proposals were ignored without any criticism, let alone serious criticism, just because they inconvenienced those setting the agenda. The same, I'm afraid, happens in the corporate world. No democracy, indeed no corporation, no company, no firm, no business can flourish when good ideas are crushed by the brute force of those served well by the status quo. Now, today, you may be tempted to think that you're trading the ivory towers for the real world. Resist that thought. Sussex University is no less real than the world you're about to enter. Indeed, your duty is to infect the real world out there with a method of dispassionate criticism that you were taught here at Sussex University. Your responsibility is to make the world more real and worthier by bringing to bear upon it the academic method of separating truth from motivated error. For too long, we all have allowed the quantification practices that devalue everything to migrate from markets and government to academia. The culture of incessant measurement damaged our universities and, by extension, our societies. From the National Health Service to the way financial products are priced to the way macroeconomic policy is designed. It is up to you to reverse this. You will, of course, while trying to reverse it, you are, of course, going to counter fierce opposition. But mark well Oscar Wilde's wise counsel. To disagree with 3/4 of the British public is one of the first requisites of sanity. The secret between us is never to fear being in a minority, even in a minority of one. The secret is to be simultaneously constructive in your proposals and disobedient in the face of inanity, critical of everything, but ready to cooperate with everyone. To succeed, a rational plan is key, as is a capacity never to forget Mike Tyson's unforgettable line, "They all have a plan until I punch them in the nose." Chancellor, I shall do all I can within my powers to maintain my relationship with this splendid university and to promote to the best of my abilities the worthy and necessary endeavours of this university. Thank you so much.